Bam, bam, bam. I got this watch for as a Christmas present, like oh my god, so many years ago. I don't want to say a decade, not a decade, but I got this so long ago. It stopped working almost instantly, and I've held on to it because I love it. As a massive fan of the Fallout series, I checked out Fallout on Amazon Prime. It took me about 5 days to watch it, and I'm going to be honest, it was hit or miss at first, but we'll get to that. Let's start with my first point, my love for the Fallout games. I've played Fallout since the Xbox 360. I was obsessed with it. I got it at Christmas, and I think I played like 2 weeks straight. And I've been playing it ever since, to be honest. Between my Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, I still play Fallout 3 till this day. I have hundreds of hours in that game. Fallout New Vegas came out. I got in, played it, beat it at that time. And then Fallout 4 was a good play. And then Fallout 76, I did not play it because based on the reviews it got, I didn't want to waste my time, to be honest, to be perfectly honest, you know. At this point, I'm very happy playing in Fallout 3 still, and I intend to go back to do a replay of Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4. And I love Fallout, so I felt as a fan, I have to check it out. There's no way I can't check it out. So I did. I finally finished watching it on Wednesday this week, and I took a day or two just to let it marinate, get my story straight, and I finally have my review of it. And I'm doing no spoilers because if anyone have not watched it yet or in the middle of it, I didn't want to spoil it for you. So I'm going to do my best to do non-spoiler review. So next, I want to talk about my hesitation with the series. Now, I wasn't convinced with the teaser that came out. I think it came out like fall or winter of last year. And then not too long ago, the official trailer came out. And I was a little torn, but I was open to watching it because as a fan of Fallout, I gotta check it out. Gotta check it out. Gotta see how it's gonna live up to it, how it's gonna be, how they're gonna interpret it. We all know the history of video games becoming movies and TV shows. You know, at this point you win some, lose some, but we're a far cry away from Far Cry. Huh? Oh, I wonder if they're gonna do that. We're a far cry away from where we were from the 1990s with Super Mario Brothers and like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Unfortunately, there's still trouble getting like a good Resident Evil to me. The Last of Us, Sonic, Super Mario Brother movies, they showed us that it's plausible and it's possible. So the next part I want to talk about is my experience in general. I had to rewatch episode 1 because maybe it was the day I had gone out and hung out with friends and then, gaming all night. It was late by the time I got to it, had a whiskey or two, and I was just watching it and I already had issues with this. So I told myself, let me rewatch it by myself. As you get two gamers together watching a show based on a game series, we're gonna debate, we're gonna point things out, we're gonna do this, that, and the other, and being like, oh no, it's good because this, oh, it's bad because of that. For the first 4 episodes, the show was averaging like a C minus for me. By the fifth episode, it really started getting my attention. It still had flaws, but the characters like Lucy's brother Norm was really growing on me. I loved him, and the ghoul, of course, always kept it interesting. One aspect of the show I missed was that feeling of, oh, I can't wait to watch that next episode. Because shows like Squid Games, Midnight Mass, Fall of the House of Usher, The Outsider, I felt like, okay, I'm just gonna watch one more episode and that's it. And then I'm like binge watching it like crazy. I did not get that feeling from this. I didn't get that feeling. It's an 8 episode show. I didn't get that fit. I honestly didn't get that feeling till episode 7. Once episode 7 wrapped, I was like, oh, what happens next? It took that long for me to get that energy, that vibe. I just kind of watched an episode and I was like, okay, that's good. Just being honest, it didn't keep me enthralled, but that's not a deal breaker. Just a realization that, it wasn't captivating me to the point that I felt the need to keep going. Like I could sprinkle it along the week. Okay, now we're going to talk about what I feel is the good, what I loved and what I appreciated about the show. The first thing is the intro and the overall look. In general, the look is cool. The intro was pretty great. I like that they showed that a family had their own bomb shelter and didn't really necessarily buy into the whole vault thing. I did like that because I wondered that back in when I was playing the game. Like, did anyone have their own storm shelters, their own bunkers, their own, doomsday preparation, their own bomb shelter, But I like that they show that. It was very brief, but I like that they did that. And that explains one aspect of there being survivors out in the world. Like maybe people didn't have enough money to get access or get a membership. You can get a membership to Vault. The Vault 33. I mean, there's going to be like some kind of inciting incident in the vault, right? To make Lucy leave, right? So that's not a spoiler. It was in a commercial. But that whole fight and sequence, that was pretty interesting. The environment altogether, I give it to them. They really did build a world. Pre-war, post-war, Hollywood, Philly, which is kind of like Diamond City, Megaton, Shady Sands, let's see, the numerous vaults and random decrepit homes that were in the wasteland. They did it. They did do that. It took a while to really feel some of the areas. Like some areas, you kind of got the gist of it. It was like, oh, bam, did it. Like the vaults, they got that. But then the wasteland, it progressively got better because honestly, at first I was kind of like the wasteland shots and stuff, and the whole environment was a little lackluster at first, but as the story progressed and you saw more, then it got better and better. And then we get to the story. The story was, without spoilers, the story is very good. It is what you expect from the Fallout. It's what you expect from the Fallout games. Like, gotta find dad, gotta hunt for dad, what happened to dad. And it also explores what caused Fallout. It also explores multiple vaults. That's kind of the fun part in the Fallout games, is when you come across a vault. Now, all vaults aren't created equal. Should I continue from there? Let's just say if one vault is bright and shiny and new, they're not all like that. They're not all like that. So I love that they brought that into this because the maps in Fallout 3, like, you have a main story and then you have side quest galore. And in games like Fallout 3 especially, you can actually, I forgot what mission it is, but there's actually a mission where you get to a computer and I believe you unlock all the locations of the vaults. I'm currently doing that now. I did not do that before, but I'm doing it now. So I'm like really in it. I found the vault that I didn't even know existed like 2 weeks ago. So I like that they showed numerous stories going on in numerous vaults. But I like that they showed numerous things that was happening. It wasn't just Lucy looking for dad. It was also, this is going on in this world and this is going on with this person and this is, there was numerous stories and it all tied together pretty damn well. You also get to see how the wasteland is. It's not just one incident and this is how the raiders are, the wasteland. No, there's multiple instances that happen either with groups, small groups, big groups, like a whole town, or just individual weirdos out there in the wild. The ghoul that's part of one of the main characters isn't the only ghoul that's going to be in the story. So that was good as well. And speaking of ghouls, it was great to see how they interpreted. It was good to see their view of how ghouls are. No spoilers is so hard. It was good to see how the ghouls' origin, how the ghouls are, what they are, stuff like that. You get it. That's enough. The origin of dog meat was very good to see. Also, the origin of the vault mascot with a thumbs up. That was freaking awesome. I loved how that tied into this. I was just like, and I just started clapping. So that was great. I'm getting goosebumps. The fight scenes in general were good. And I love the moments that reminded me of like certain perks. Like when you level up in the game, you can unlock perks that can make you carry more equipment. I think one of the perks was called Contract Killer. If you killed certain characters and took off one of their fingers as proof, you'd get like a bounty. Bloody Mess, that was a perk, and there was some bloodiness there. Better at lockpicking, be better at hacking into computer systems, be better with laser weapons versus pistols and stuff. So and then I think that's perks. Attributes were like how lucky you are, how strong you were, your charisma. I think your perspective, your perception, like how easily you can find things. There was a joke about the VAT system. The VAT system in the game is how you can it's basically like a scope where you can like pick out what areas of a enemy you want to shoot or hit and your percentage of damage you would deal to them. So when someone makes a joke about that, it was really funny. And I geeked out when someone in the show says Three Dogs line, war never changes. I was like, oh my God, they said the word. So I like the timeline. It's a little confusing at first, but once they really give you the timeline and you understand what happened, I thought that was well done. It's a little odd, but once you get it, I loved it. I did appreciate the inclusion of the politics, the rich corporate giants, mutiny, experimentation. And it wasn't overwhelming and it was easy to follow. So I think they did a good job with that as well. Now, the characters, and I'm talking about the characters, not the actors, because I don't want it to be confusing. I don't want to say the ghoul slash Cooper Howard played by such and such. Ghoul is a great character, even when he's being cutthroat and villainous. He's been like around pre Fallout. He was a cowboy, he was a soldier, he was a TV personality. You see him doing the advertisements in the trailer and the teaser. And then post Fallout, now he's been through some stuff. He's had to do some stuff. He's been through some stuff. People have done stuff to him. So he's dope. He's been through some stuff and he ain't about playing games right now. Lucy, our hero, or to me, I like to consider her the playable character. She's basically who you would play if you play the game. Overall, she's fine. Overall, she's fine. She has her good moments. When I was talking about attributes and perks, her attribute for luck must be maximum 10 because it's like she can slip and fall and kill like all these enemies. She can sneeze and get out of a trap. It's like her luck is like domino luck. Lucy's brother, Norm, he declares himself a coward early on in the show, but he is anything but. I love that character. He's so awesome. So in episode 1, the inciting incident in the vault happens, right? And Lucy has to leave to look for Dad. Norm is left behind, and I'm so glad they did that because we could have just followed Lucy out into the wasteland and called it a day in Vault 33. But they stay in Vault 33. There's politics going on. There's healing going on. There's all these things that are still going. The story continues in Vault 33, and I'm so thankful that Norm exists because I think you were the only child in the games. But for her to have a brother and for him to still be there, continuing the story underground in Vault 33, as Lucy progresses with the story outside in the wasteland, I loved it. That was great. I love Norm. He's awesome. Everyone else, like Barb, Moldover, Dane, the Doc, Majun, Betty, a bunch of them. They're all good. They're all good too. But I just wanted to point out my favorites. I haven't mentioned Maximus' character for a reason. The guy who is around the Brotherhood of Steel in the trailer. I'll have to talk about him later. It was really fun to see all the Easter eggs in general. For the fans of the series, we got stink packs. We have Jet, we got super bombs, Coca-Cola caps, like currency. There's Pit Boys, tapes, the guns, hacking computers, and Super Duper Mart. They have robots as well. There's very few robots, but when they show up, you kind of geek out a little bit. At least I did. It's just super fun. It's like really fun to see when items from the game are in this world, and it's just like it's fun. It's like yay. It's that thing from the thing. And the last thing I need to point out as a good about this is the soundtrack. The use of certain songs at plot points was superb. Great job. I love the music from the game series, especially Fallout 3. And I found myself singing along the way, like the selection, when they put certain songs on, it was outstanding. There was moments while watching it, I'm just like singing along with what's going on. And then I forgot what episode it was, but they played a certain song at the end. And I just sat through the credits singing. It was just great. I loved it. All right, so this section of my video I'm going to call the medium ground. This is where I can see a person loving it or hating it. And that's where I am. It's like what I'm about to bring up now, they weren't deal breakers, but there was just certain things that kind of like, to me. I know words. So let's start with the acting. The good acting is very selective, especially. So there are certain moments within the first 3 episodes, I found myself curious why the director went with certain takes. Moments that were supposed to be funny felt flat or was just awkward. You could argue that what is considered funny is based on the individual's taste. Okay, sure. But bad acting can cause the audience to wonder, was this supposed to be funny? Is this funny? Or questioning, what's wrong with this person? And that's what happens when bad takes or bad acting is entwined, sorry to say. I found that happening often in the first half of the series, so the first 4 episodes, but thankfully it gets less and less awkward as it progresses, and the acting gets better and better. Other thing that's medium ground to me was the grandness of the vault opening. Now, when the vault door opens, they hold so much on Lucy. Like, I'm Lucy, and this is all you're seeing. You're seeing me looking around, covering my eyes from the sun rays, like just looking around. They hold on that so long. I'm like, I want to see what she's seeing. I want to see her POV. They didn't do that enough for me. You get little medium shots and establishing shots, but not enough for me to feel that grandness of what it was like when you first, or when you're playing the game and you first leave the vault under the crazy circumstances. They got that part, but when you leave the vault, it's like I was missing that, oh my God, what do I do now? Feeling, because she's just like, okie dokie. It's just like, okay, kill the vibe, man. I wasn't saying okie dokie all chipper when I left the vault. I was like, oh shit, where am I supposed to go? What do I do? That's how I felt. Also, there was like shots of like ash bodies made of ashes that you would have thought have blown away a long time ago. Like, are they petrified? I didn't get the science or biology of that, but that's it. Those are the only things that were kind of medium ground to me. Like, you can hate it or love it. It took me out of it a little bit, but considering it's an 8 episode series, that's not bad. All right, now we're gonna talk about the bad. I don't know where to start. Okay, there's not much that was bad. I'll start. I'll start with the short part of this rant. The creatures. Other than the rad roaches, the creatures were subpar to me. I think the rad roaches were like the strongest creature actually to me. I like the first introduction of one of them, and then later when they come back, I thought that was very well done. I hate those things. And then I think you see the boat fly. I think you did. It was very brief, but I did think you see a boat fly. And then in one episode early on, someone's getting attacked and they yell bear. And when I was looking at it, I was like, the bear, wolf, what is that? And then I was like, is that a yell guy? Is that, I mean, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but I guess saying bear is easier than saying or explaining Yao guy. And then the gulpers, that creature, or those creatures, because there were multiple, eh, they're kind of, I wasn't feeling scared of them. I wasn't feeling intimidated by them. I'm sorry. I don't care how big they were or whatever. It's just that wasn't my favorite part. Those creatures were not my favorite part. Like, where are the fire ants? Where were those? Where was the mirrorlurks? I was so looking forward to seeing mirrorlurks. And then there's scorpions, but that's all. But but that's here or there. Okay, so the creatures to me were subpar. They were a little lackluster. And I hope in season 2 they bring back the fire ants and the mirrorlurks and other creatures. But yeah, the mirrorlurks were my favorite. They are so hard to kill too. Maybe that's why they didn't bring them. I don't know. Mole rats. The mole rats were missing too. But then again, just a few creatures probably was a good thing, because maybe too many mole rats, that's more CGI and more money. But so that's just one thing I thought was a little lackluster. The worst part about this series for me, as I mentioned, some moments that were supposed to be funny, or even moments that were supposed to be endearing, were just awkward or stupid or frustrating. Maximus, I'm looking at you. Maximus, wannabe brother of Steel. His character was so annoying to me. I originally thought the character Thaddeus was going to make me annoyed, but it was Maximus. He is constantly pouting, looking sad all the time. Like, he is always about to cry or have a temper tantrum. Even when he's happy, I'm like, dude, are you okay? Because he looks like a grown man, but he acts like a freaking child. His character is written with a selective morality, which is heavily based on his own agenda. He is a weak person who wants to feel strong and powerful and in control, but he is not that guy. If you want to be villainous, own that and don't pretend to be a good guy. His charisma perk is at 2 at best, okay? If Lucy's luck is at a 10, his charisma is at a 2, okay? Her perception, inconsistent. Inconsistent. As a soldier, I liked when he showed good instincts, but that was few and far between. He was mostly an impulsive fighter that was incapable of reading the freaking room or having the wherewithal to ask, what's the situation? Because to me, he was constantly doing the wrong thing. To me, I want to read this exactly how I wrote it. He his decisions and abilities were inconsistent throughout. He thinks nothing about ramification, and it was a pain for me to watch him countlessly. By the second episode, I was actually talking to the TV and said, "You better show some real growth by the end." He did not. He wanted to be Denzel Washington's character in Glory, but he was more like Richard Gere's character in An Officer and a Gentleman. He got nowhere else to go, except he chose to be with the Brotherhood of Steel because of an event that happened in his past. I know he wants to prove himself, but it's not to help anyone or be part of anything. It is so that his weak ass can feel strong and in control. And oh my God. And it's nothing to do with the actor. Listen, if his character was written this way and he was directed his way, he did his job. This has nothing to do with the actor. It's the character. It's the Maximus's character. He seems so much like a little boy in a grown man's body who wants his toy, who wants everything he feels entitled to. And if you get in his way, he's going to have a tantrum. And it's just so annoying to me. His character needs to be better. All right, so now we're getting to the overall score. Honestly, the show was holding at a C for a while, but then it gradually got better and better. A part of me really wishes I could give this like an A or A minus, but considering my review of the good and the medium and the bad, I can give this a B plus. I was almost at a B. I'm going to give this a B plus with a smiley face because the smiley face is because that means I'm going to rewatch it. So if you're a fan of the game series, I do recommend watching it. The backstories, the Easter eggs, the storyline, the exploration of the wasteland, the different vaults. There's so much to look at and experience and just kind of reminisce about. It's worth watching, and the music definitely is worth it. Overall, it did feel like a combination of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and in that aspect, it was very well done. After watching The Last of Us and Fallout, I look forward to seeing more video game series. I believe I heard BioShock is going to be a show as well. I think that they start talking about that in like 2022 or something like that, and that's going to be with Netflix. So I hope they're taking notes from like The Last of Us and Fallout because that's heavy competition. BioShock is a great game. They better come correct. After seeing this, they better come correct. The expectations will be high. This is my season 2 speculation. Let me see if I can do this spoiler free. Let's just say I'm definitely looking forward to seeing New Vegas being added to the Wasteland. I will say, I hope that's not a spoiler. But you know, how else would they expand this if they did all the games in one season? So I'm looking forward to that. Someone actually did make a joke in one of the episodes saying something like, you're the only person I know who can lose money owning a casino. So I was like, yay. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And man, I hope to see super mutants, androids or synths, and the mirror lurks. I want to see the mirror lurks. So many things that can be added onto this. And Maximus, you gotta grow up. I need a bigger arc from him. The Brotherhood of Steel, they're a very complicated group. Like their whole thing is trying to find old tech, right? But there's a hierarchy. There's some politics in there too. You got the Brotherhood of Steel who are like stone cold, like yes, Brotherhood all the way, and then you have the outcast. There's something they can do there. Maximus has an opportunity to grow up, but they used him as a plot point. They used him as a plot device because if he didn't do this wouldn't. It's like, dude, come on now. Let him. If you're gonna have him be in this show this entire time, let him have a full arc. There's no reason we have to like be so annoyed with this dude. I hope you make him grow up in the next one. I hope to see real strength from him, real solid decisions, real take charge decisions, not tantrums. Did not like that. Sorry to sound harsh, but it's just facts. So that was my review for the Fallout TV series. As a person who's played games since I could hold a controller, I used to wonder why production companies would even bother making movies or shows based on video games. I mean, money being one of the reasons, of course, but you wouldn't take that risk unless the game had fandom. And even then, I used to think, well, who's this for? If it's for the fans, we played the game, or you should play the game. But in truth, not everyone likes to play video games. Not everyone has the time to play video games. There's some video games that it takes hundreds of hours to beat because it's so open, or games that are so large that they feel like an impossible task. And not everyone has time to play video games like that. Some people who might only be attracted to role-playing games won't like first-person shooter games, and vice versa. Considering all that, that doesn't mean a person isn't interested in a good story. I can see how an 8-episode series can be a lot more attractive than playing a game that's 70 plus hours. And I'm glad that it's opening up people to try the game after watching it. So that's pretty cool too. So I get it now. It took a long time, but I get why they make these. And it's a fun experience, especially when they develop a little more backstory, or maybe if they added things that were already in the games that I just wasn't aware of. I like that. I appreciate that very much. I haven't seen anyone else's reviews yet, but I'm looking forward to doing it now that I finished this. I want to know both sides. how the fans felt about the series, and how new viewers felt about the story. Please let me know your experience. I'm really interested whether you're a fan of the series or this is new to you. And thank you for watching. Farewell.